Hello everybody and welcome. Today for stream, you'll notice that I am on my little short Lalafell. It is Sunday and we are back to normal schedule with Sundays being Sprouts Sunday, with it being focused on my little Lala. So I have a tendency to also call it Lala Live. And with Boba here. You could see that I am in a very populated Limsa Lamensa instead of where MSQ is at. And the reason that is because the other day we were talking about crafting and everything. Also, by the way, thank you so much for all those gifted subs, Dragon. Enjoy your mount. You should see in your notifications, should be within the next 24 hours or so. For me, I did it on Tuesday. It came really fast, so I wouldn't expect it to take too terribly long. But you should see a code in your notifications, and you can go into the Mog Station and redeem your code. You just have to do it as an item redemption. Make sure you know which character you want to redeem on, because it is just one character that you can redeem on. I've redeemed it on my main character. I do not have it on this character. But it is a beautiful unicorn. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely enjoy your mount. So, the reason I am in Limsa Lomensa is the other day we were talking about leveling crafters and making gil and things like that. Something I failed to mention, and I actually think it's a good thing that I failed to mention it during stream the other day, because this was something I skipped over with Boba before, because I didn't feel like making a retainer during stream. I've made a retainer on Boba now, and one way that can really, really help with leveling your crafters, particularly if you level your gatherers and your battle jobs, or a battle job. Doesn't have to be all of them, just so long as you level at least one, is unlocking retainer ventures. Retainer ventures are basically you send your retainers out to complete various missions, and they come back with goodies for you. I'll be able to talk a little bit more about what that looks like once I have it unlocked. Because Boba here does not have it unlocked. Unlocking it, it's just talking to a troubled adventurer. It's a level 17 quest, which is why I swapped the rogue instead of being on my white mage. But with my white mage, she's like level 40 something, so she wouldn't be able to reap as much with it. So I'm going to do this as rogue, since rogue is level 17. Talking to this troubled adventurer, it's going to come up noting that, you know, this quest is available. There's 3 different NPCs that offer essentially this same quest. They're having a hard time getting their retainers, is the premise of the whole quest. And you'll find them in each of the 3 main cities. Doesn't matter which one you do, you're going to get the same rewards, no matter what. Okay? So you can pick whichever one. Typically, I go with the one in Gridania. I was already in Limsa Lomensa from stream the other day. I think I was last on Boba on Wednesday, working on getting Marauder started up. So I just picked the one here in Limsa Lomensa, but you could also do the one that is in Old Daw. Doesn't necessarily matter which one. Basically, you're going to end up unlocking retainer adventures, and you're going to get the exact same rewards, exact same experience, exact same gil, and exact same venture rewards. Doesn't necessarily matter which one you pick. Now, the dialogue is going to be different, but we're going to go ahead and go through the dialogue, and I'm going to talk about what the dialogue is, at least for Gridania. Bloody elves, I ain't got time for this. Friend, you look like the elpful sort. Might handle in a meddlesome task for a man in need. Your retainer, you reckon he had what it took to go on an adventure in Skull Valley with not more than what I gave him. But now the little bugger's up and vanished. Probably got eaten by a dodo or some such. Any road, if ye happen across his remains in western Lenosha, I'd like you to inform the local watch so they could set about notifying his kin. So, the premise of all of them is essentially you need to go looking for their retainer. They send them on an adventure, and you go looking for them because they got stuck. Something's holding each of them up, so that's your job. Go figure out what's holding them up. If I recall correctly, in Gridania, they're a little bit more hopeful. They're not like, oh, I'm pretty sure he's dead. It's more of a, oh, hey, I think something has held my retainer up. Can you go see what's going on? This one, he was like, yeah, he could be dead. I shouldn't have mugged right there. Oh, well. Okay. But essentially, in all of them, you'll find the retainer. You go and you rescue the retainer. Cat, you're going to have to go down. There we go. My cat was on my lap, and she decided she didn't want to be on my lap anymore, but she couldn't decide exactly what her escape route was going to be. And I like... Okay. So all of your retainers are going to start off in gear that looks like this no matter what. But basically, you're going to... whoops, I don't want to skip cutscene. Okay, there we go. I want the dialogue. Oh, shoot. I must have gotten rid of the dialogue in my chat. Well, anyhow. This poor Lalafell, like, or whichever retainer you go to rescue, is going to interact with you, basically thanking you for rescuing them. This one is like, what? That big, or that, I keep wanting to insert big, because renegades are so big, but that oaf presumed me dead. Who does he think I am? Some wet behind the ears weakling? Hey, Euler, how's it going? You've at least shown some remorse for furnishing me with such poor equipment. Well, speak of the Sahagin. A moment. And essentially, they go call their retainer. It's about bloody time. Do I sound dead to you? Fine, but you're buying the first round. If you haven't created a retainer yet, you can set what their personality type is going to be. You can make them very nice and polite. You can make them very sassy and spunky. Like, they have various different personality types that will give you what their dialogue is going to kind of look like when you make them and set their personality type. Limlan had mercy. I am not getting paid nearly enough for this work. I hope you treat your retainers with more respect, madam. Anyway, courtesy dictates I thank you for your intervention. To that end, I ask you seek out Fredwib in East Hawker's Alley. Tell her what you did, and I'm sure she'll reward you handsomely. Farewell. No regrets going with the Limsa one because, you know, helping a little Lalafell in need, you know. And I could take the boat back to Limsa Limensa. I could have taken a boat here and everything, but I'm just going to use teleports. It's not that much to teleport right now. Oh, I'm actually at the closest one. And then you just talk to the retainer Bokip. And they're like, greetings, miss. How may I assist you? It sounds to me like you came along just in time. The last thing we need is another retainer dying on a venture. I gather from your expression you're not familiar with ventures. Quite understandable. Allow me to explain. In cooperation with the Adventurers Guild, we have established a new system through which retainers may be dispatched to recur items for their employers. Should you wish to avail yourselves of this additional service, you'll need to pay your retainers in advance with ventures. I speak of these special script issued by the Adventurers Guild. Accept them with my compliments. Let me assure you that this isn't a complex process. Any retainer can walk you through it. When next you speak with yours, why not raise the subject? Okay. So now I should be able to talk to, I only made one retainer so far. I can, on my account, I can make up to 7 because I'm a psycho and pay for 7. But by default with your subscription, you are able to hire 2. Some people go ahead and pay for a 3rd one. Some people are psychos like me and have a whole bunch of them. Like, I think I heard somebody tell me that they had 9. Like, and I was like, man, that makes me feel a whole lot better about my 7. But you can hire more. It does cost more with your subscription to hire more. The reason I do is just because I have so many items that I have hoarded onto that I really, really need to be better about clearing out my inventory on my main character in particular. But also, like, I do have a tendency to utilize them for multiple things. But it's going to give me more dialogue to say, you can send your retainers afield on procurement expeditions known as ventures. Before you do so, however, you must first assign them a class. After summoning a retainer, select Assign a Retainer class from the Retainer menu to begin. So I'm going to select my retainer here, and I went ahead and made her a Makote because that was my very first save slots. So I'm going to go with the Makote here. And on the list options now, I should see Assign Retainer class. Before doing this quest, that is not going to be an option. So it says, your retainer cannot undertake ventures until you assign his or her class. This could be any one class, with the exception of those of the Disciples of Hand. Because Disciples of Hand don't go out and do things. They stay in one place and make stuff when you provide them things. So it's like, that kind of defeats the whole purpose of ventures. Ventures, they're going out and they are procuring things for you. Your retainer's class determines which ventures he or she can embark on. Please be advised that you cannot assign your retainer a class you have not yet unlocked. So here it's going to give us some more to say you could be assigned anyone, or you can assign them any one class except for Disciple of Hand. Excuse me. While it's possible to reassign classes, please be warned that your retainer's progress with that current class will be reset. So you lose any leveling progress if you change. A retainer's class determines which ventures he or she may embark upon. Retainers gain in level by completing ventures, but their level will never exceed your own. So they are limited. So for instance, with Rogue, she could only reach level 17. With Conjure, she could only reach level 40, whatever I am with Conjure. 42. And with Marauder, she could only reach level 7. Now, as I level, that cap is going to continue raising with me, but she is limited. And you'll notice that Miner, Botanist, and Fisher are unavailable right now because I have not unlocked those on this character. Okay? So, let me go to my main character real quick, so we can see this a little bit better. I know it is going to take a little bit of time for me to do the loading screen and everything, but I promise this is going to be faster than me going through and being like, okay, let me unlock this and let me get some levels on this. And we'll be able to get back to MSQ much faster on my LFL. My main character, as I said, I have 7 retainers. With those 7, how I have them distributed is I have 2 of them assigned to battle jobs, 2 of them assigned to botanists, 2 of them are miners, and 1 of them is a fisher. And the reason only 1 is a fisher is because I don't need fishing mats very often. I mostly need materials from the other 3 categories. So with that, so like here, I have 2 botanists. They're both done with their with their venture. I'm just going to go ahead and confirm it, even though I'm going to assign her the same venture. So her class level right now is level 100 because my minimum was 100, but you have to send them on ventures to level them. Because just like you, they're not going to be able to level without experience. And you have multiple different options. You have just regular botany for botanists. For mining, you would have regular mining, and for battle, you would have field explorations. There's also a longer exploration and a quick exploration. With the first option gives you options with all the different level ranges and different materials that they can come back with. So, with how my retainer is currently geared, so she's not very well geared, by the way. She has like the bare minimum for level 100 basically on at the moment. So not very well geared at all. But enough to get her out doing those level 100 ventures. If I so choose to send her on the level 100 ventures here. The one that I'm actually going to send her back out on is peppermint because I need more peppermint. And I don't want to have to go out and get it myself. You'll notice that the number for peppermint is a little bit lower than some of the other ones. It's likely because this is a timed node. And this one, it's the same deal. I'm going to send her out for more peppermint. My other retainers that I have here, just to show you what they look like. So this one is a battle job. This one, he is Gunbreaker, also level 100 because mine is level 100. But let me actually switch to my other battle one, which is Red Mage. My Red Mage here is only level 97, and that's because I only recently hit 100 on Red Mage, and he is working on leveling. And as you can see, when I hit hunting, I'm not going to have that whole list of options. And you'll notice that some of these are going to come up red. Like I can't send him on this venture because his item level is not quite where it needs to be to go on those missions. But he can go on, like he could go get me dynamis crystals, for instance, with where he is geared at. He's not geared high enough for the alpaca fillet or the silver lobo hides. But sometimes you are just sending them on ventures because you want to get them to a particular point. For instance, when we were talking the other day, we were specifically talking about someone and how they have botany up to level 40 something and mining up to 30 something and weaver up to level 61. So you might want to work on just general leveling. The quickest way to get them level and experience and everything is to send them on quick explorations. One of the reasons I like quick explorations is because there are no requirements for quick explorations. They just give a bunch of experience. They're going to come back with something random. It could be great what they come back with. Like earlier, I came back with a venture coffer, and in that venture coffer, I got a retainer Fantasia. Possibly the worst loot I could have gotten from a venture coffer. But you could also get some really awesome dyes, like jet black dye or pure white. Those are pretty expensive items on the market board. And these take an hour, but they cost 2 ventures instead of 1 when you send them on a hunting. So like if I hit to go get a dynamis crystal, he's only going to ask me for one venture to go on that mission instead of 2. If you're going to log off for a longer period of time, field explorations are the way to go. Just to scale this window so we can see it a little bit better, because there's a lot of information on this window. Field explorations take 18 hours as opposed to 1 hour. So if you're going to be offline for a long period of time and not able to baby those retainers quite so much, you're going to get more bang for your buck as far as experience rewards. Each of these field explorations have their own loot tables, so I highly recommend looking online to see what their loot tables are. But if you're just leveling, send them on the highest one that you can possibly send them on, because that's going to give you the most experience. Like here, my level 91 is going to give me over 7 million experience, whereas my level 90 is only going to give me 5 million experience. So huge difference, but also a huge item level jump. We have 100 item levels between the two, so huge jump there. Again, that's why I like quick explorations, because don't have to worry about their item level. But one thing that can be really nice is you could just give them your hand-me-down gear rather than buying or making them more gear. What I tend to do with my battle jobs, in particularly Shadowbringers onwards, they give you artifact gear at some point during MSQ. I throw that on them. Otherwise, I tend to just throw vendor gear on them, whatever I can get my hands on quickly and easily. Sometimes I'll make them something nice. I haven't made them anything nice in a while, because right now, like my 2 botanists are just going out for some level 70 something peppermint. So that's, in my opinion, not like, I don't need to stack their item level too much, because they're so out leveled for it that the max that they're going to come back with is 9 anyway. So not going to spend too much time gearing them up. However, you could end up finding that you want to go for more current stuff, and for some of that current stuff, you might want to, like, see, these only have, he's only going to come back with 3. He's going to come back with very little. Increasing his item level to better exceed the requirements. So like here, for gatherers, they just have a requirement for gathering. If I give him gear that better exceeds that gathering requirement, the more he's going to come back with. So increasing their item level can still be a good thing. It's just going to be expensive, and it's not an expensive task or expensive thing that I really want to spend my money on. So just to show what they come back with, quick ventures, like, so this retainer just came back from a quick venture. Scale that up a little bit. Notice he came back with pants. Where did these level 60 pants come from? A lot of people joke, they're like, oh my gosh, did they steal this off of somebody? Like, was there somebody passed out in a dungeon and they stole their pants? Like, what did this retainer do? They could come back with very random things when it comes to quick ventures. They could come back with, let's see, we got a level 90 accessory. Why my 97 red mage came back with something better than my level 100 gunbreaker is beyond me. But, oh, got another venture coffer. This one, my fishing retainer, she's 2 for 2 with coming back with venture coffers today. So after I send the rest of them out, I'll show what that venture coffer looks like. Up, we got a level. How my miner got this crafted bracelet is beyond me. He can't craft. He's a miner. So yeah, sometimes you can gear them with things that they come back with from quick ventures. Okay, so overall not super great as far as what they came back with, but we got one venture coffer, so at least there's that. So let's open up this venture coffer. And I got a general purpose dark brown dye. That one probably doesn't go for too terribly much on the market board, but still better than some of the other things that they could potentially come back with on quick ventures. as I said, you can get like jet black dye out of those venture coffers. You could, which on my server can sometimes go for 1 million a pop. So that could be really, 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 really freaking amazing. You could also get pure white dyes. Like, there are all kinds of things that could come from those venture coffers that actually are valuable. And you get quite a bit of experience from it, so totally worth sending them on ventures. Some people go ahead and send them for materials, so that way they can craft things. For instance, we just had a whole bunch of crafting things just come up recently, so it could be great to send them on things or for materials that are selling for a lot on the market board. What I tend to do with the things that they come back with that I don't want. Let's see, where is... Scroll to the bottom here. Because sometimes, like, those trousers of the Lost Thief, I don't have anything that low level anymore. And it's market prohibited. I don't want it. So I go to my Grand Company, and I'm going to trade it for Grand Company seals. And then with Grand Company seals, you can go over, like, even if you're just private third class, like, you do have to be a certain rank to be able to turn in old gear like that. So make sure you level your Grand Companies, or rank up with your Grand Companies a little bit. But you could turn in those materials for more ventures and never run out of ventures that way. So that way that old gear is not going to waste. So that's why, like, or that's another reason why, like, the other day I was like, definitely with, so for this person, they were in Post a Realm Reborn, level 61 with Weaver. I was like, press pause on Weaver, focus on the Botany and Miner for sure, getting them caught up, because they were level 30s and 40s, for helping support that Weaver as continuing on, and potentially work on some other crafters if that desire to level other crafters is desired. And leveling those retainers can totally help, because I know that after a while, gathering can be a complete and total drag. So sending those retainers out to go get those materials can be so ridiculously helpful. So I highly recommend unlocking retainer adventures if you haven't already. You could do it with in any of the 3 main cities, like I did with Boba earlier in the stream. I can't remember where the one in Ul'dah is at, but all 3 of them should be, like, right by the main Aetheryte. The one for Gardania is somewhere around here. That's the one I tend to do, is the one that's, like, here. But it's a super quick and easy unlock, and you can assign jobs to your retainers, send them on ventures, and they will come back with plenty of things for you. Some of those things, yes, will be complete and total crap, but overall pretty dang good. Okay. Oh, the Gridani one's by the summoning bell. Gotcha. Thanks for correcting me there, Euler. Let me... I was hitting gaming scene. Let me get swapped back over to Boba. And the reason I didn't do all of that on Boba was not just because I could show more with my main character, but I was also like, I don't want to lock in the battle jobs, because I feel like one of the mistakes that I made with my main character was the battle job ones. I gave them different battle jobs. So and neither one of them are my main battle job either. So if you're going to assign a job for your retainer, make sure that it's going to be your main battle job. And that's why I held off on Boba, because Boba is going to make the swap to the new class next expansion. So I didn't want to make her retainer focused on white mage or anything like that. And like then be like, oh, I have to redo all of this. Because as the warnings give you, it says it's going to reset your level or your retainer's level if you change their job. So like all of that progress with leveling them and everything ends up being wasted. So and it's been several expansions since I leveled my main character's retainers, and I don't want to level them again. I don't want to. So her battle retainers usually end up lagging behind, because usually I prioritize MSQ, and then after prioritizing MSQ, then I focus on crafters and gatherers, and then I can level my gatherer retainers, and then maybe I'll look at side jobs or additional battle jobs. So usually I'm behind on leveling Gunbreaker and Red Mage, and the Red Mage one used to be a lot faster because Red Mage was my main at the start of Endwalker. But then I swapped around quite a few different jobs for my static, and I never made it back to being a Red Mage main. I'm too addicted to being a greedy-ass melee when it comes to single target encounters, and then for dungeons and stuff like that, I prefer to heal. I don't like playing DPS, honestly, in dungeons anymore. I just don't. It irks me. Oh. I was like, well, how did I piss that off so far away? I'm still on Rogue. There we go. There we go. Okay. So Boba had to drive back a little bit here. Because we still need to make progress with the Ishgardians. They aren't trusting us right now. We are doing everything right, except this jackass Inquisitor will not stop showing up and being a freaking twat. He's being annoying. He's being rude, and like he wants us to go away, but also he knows he knows we would go away faster if he would stop getting in our way. And because he's getting in our way, it's just making our stay that much longer, and it's just annoying the crap out of us and drawing attention to himself. So not exactly sure what his end goal is. He's all pissed off because we wouldn't let him kill Francel and whatnot. So we're trying to find Sid's airship so that way we can take care of Garuda. That's our primary concern. But this Inquisitor will not stop interrupting shit. And Sid's like, why will he not stop interrupting shit? Like, all right. Before we can persuade Lord Drillmont to help us, it seems we must convince Inquisitor Gilliman that we are not his enemy. But just how might we go about doing that? The thing is if they're convinced that you're the enemy, I don't think you're going to convince them that you're not the enemy, but okay. We know little and less about the Good Inquisitor despite him being such a prominent figure in Kurthus. Perhaps we should learn more by speaking with the people of White Brim Front. Share your findings with Alphino in the square. I'm sure he can formulate a strategy from there. I mean, as much as Alphino pisses me off in A Realm Reborn, one thing I will give him credit for is he is very good at strategizing. He's not good at implementing strategy, but he is good at telling us what he thinks we should do. Okay. Inquisitor Guilliman, I haven't the foggiest of whom you speak. Unbeliever. We have learned of your deeds at Witchdrop. I will not be party to whatever dastardly schemes you have hatched against the Inquisitor. Away with you. Okay. They're very religious people in Ishgard. They very much worship Halone, and so they are convinced that we do not believe in Halone or her teachings or anything like that. And it's like, okay. Under Inquisitor Guilliman's watchful gaze, unprecedented numbers of heretics have been unmasked and brought to justice. They say he goes days without sleep, so great is his devotion. Blessed are we to have such a goodly, righteous man to protect us. That many heretics? To have that many feels a little suspicious. Inquisitor Guilliman, yes, of course I know of him. Alas, I have not seen him since the day he came to White Rim Front several moons ago. My memory is somewhat muddled, but I recall that a blizzard nearly buried us in the snow that day, and I had the ill fortune of being assigned to the night's watch. While the stronghold slept, we walked the walls and patrolled the exterior in a darkness black as pitch. My route took me outside the eastern gate at one point, where I caught sight of a silhouette illuminated by the light of the city. Thinking it was a wayward traveler, I cried out and gave chase, but slipped and took a terrible fall. When I woke, it was days later in this very bed where I had lain recuperating from my injuries ever since. I had tried to rescue him, but in the end, Inquisitor Guilliman rescued me, carrying my unconscious body to the gates. I owe him my life, madam, and I hope to one day repay his kindness. Okay. Cool. I'm like trying really hard not to give too many of my thoughts because I'm like, I do remember this part of MSQ. So I'm like, my opinion, like it's biased because I know the answer. The Holy See has decreed that the Inquisitors are the arbiters of Halone's will. They are to be afforded every courtesy and utmost respect. Okay. Alright, Alphino. Alright. Let's not be a douche as you talk to me here. But sure. Shiver. Well, yes, you're cold. You're like the one person here that's dressed as few layers as I am. I'm at least wearing a cardigan. And like you even have the luxury of a hood and you don't have it up. Come on. Come on, man. Like, you have all these cutouts and stuff with your outfit. And I'm like, yes, I do have my legs showing. But you wonder why you're cold, man? Get a coat. In case you have yet to notice, my attire is ill-suited to this climate. Well, spoiled rich boy, how about you go buy yourself some clothes that are suited for this climate, then? Not all of us have the luxury to do that. Spoiled rich boy. Come on. I realized it soon after our arrival, but paid no mind as I had hoped we might find Enterprise far faster. Instead, we've wasted far too much time meddling in local affairs. Boo fucking who? That's what I have to say, Alphino. Like, if you want it found faster, how about you fucking help? Instead of just standing there. Or go inside. Like, Sid's at least inside. Never mind. Our journey is almost at an end. All that remains is to deal with this irksome Inquisitor. Sid tells me that you've been busy making inquiries, yes? It should come as no surprise that he's held in high regard. Even so, I'm beginning to suspect he has other reasons for hindering us now. Let's more closely review the testimonials you obtained, Boba. Maybe they will provide insight into Inquisitor Gilliman's motivations. Like, you're just standing there, Alphino. Like, there is a merchant right there. Right there. Just walk over to him. Buy some warmer clothes. And walk right back if you want to. Or just walk inside and stand next to Sid. Or both. I don't care what you do. Just don't bitch. Something troubles me about that wounded knight's account. He claims he fell chasing a figure in the darkness that I saw outside the eastern gate. Yes, but the main road leads to the southwestern gate. Since we arrived in White Brim Front, I've seen no travelers arrive by the eastern gate. Moreover, he said he glimpsed a silhouette illuminated by the light of the city, which would imply that the Inquisitors came from north of the eastern gate, not south. But it cannot be so. That way lies naught but a deep chasm. Assuming Sir Jola is not misremembering, the Inquisitor's behavior that night makes absolutely no sense. At least to me. Mayhap retracing his steps will shed light on this mystery. Good points, Alphino. Very good points. So, at least you could do that as you're shivering, but while you're at it, just walk over to that freaking sales guy over there. Just buy yourself some more warmer gear. Pretty sure even Boba could actually afford to get herself some warmer gear. But also, she's not the one that's bitching, and she's not a spoiled rich kid. Oh, there's some dead stuff here. Okay. Get some dots on everything. Get some regen on myself because I'm losing health decently fast. Because in case it was a mystery, white healers don't do a lot of damage. But we could stay alive for a while because we could heal ourselves. And, oh, there's a snow mound here. Okay. Gooooooo. Gooooooo. This is not the time to be playing in the snow. Get out of there. Get out. Get. And, oh. Well, hello, sir. Okay. So, we have a case of imposter syndrome. We has an imposter. For everybody who's played Baldur's Gate 3, we have like a potential Orin situation here. Someone's right around masquerading as the Inquisitor. Alright, Alphino. Alphino, what you got for me? You found something, didn't you? Well, don't keep me waiting in suspense. Let's see it. I'm just going to start imagining Alphino speaking like as though he's a Starian in Baldur's Gate 3, because then I think I won't hate him as much. Because I like Astarion. Admittedly, he says some things that are asshole-ish. But I'm like, okay, maybe if I just imagine that with Alphino, maybe I won't hate a Realm Reborn Alphino nearly as much as what I do. Given the contents of this encyclical, I believe you have just made the acquaintance of the real Inquisitor Guilliman. Newly come to Kurthurst and murdered on the day of his arrival. Yes, it would have been a simple thing to assume his identity, for even if he were to behave oddly, he would dare question the wisdom of a papal appointment. Still, while this is incontrovertible proof that the Inquisitor is an impostor, we have yet to discern his true identity or why he has decided to oppose us. He's opposed us because he was trying to kill somebody, and we said, fuck no, you can't kill him. You must proceed quickly, Boba, before he learns that his deception has been discovered. Okay. So, apparently we gotta figure out his true identity before we can show everybody else and say, hey, he's fake. He's lying. Since Lord Dromar has already been turned against us, I fear that this encyclical alone will not serve to convince him of our claims, but what might persuade a man so quick to disregard the endorsements of two high houses. The cook did say that the Lord listens and respects the opinions of his knights. If a certain knight were to provide testimony that supports our claim, yes, mayhap that is the only way left to us. Confront Sir Julia with the evidence you discovered and see if it helps him to recall the truth of that night. As a man of faith, he may find it difficult to cope with such a horrifying revelation. Nevertheless, we must do everything within our power to secure the Enterprise. And I will apologize. I know I put the... I'm like, you know what? In my mind, I'm imagining Astarion, and I know if I put that imagination in your head too, and I know I sound absolutely nothing like Astarion. I'm sorry. My voice is nowhere near as beautiful as his. Neil's voice is absolutely amazing. I do apologize. Oh, you have returned. Is there something else you wanted to ask? Yeah. The Inquisitor is an imposter. Don't be preposterous. That could not possibly be true. He is a paragon of virtue, a dedicated servant of the Fury. You would have me believe that that is all a lie? If you are so certain of your ludicrous, or that your ludicrous story is true, then go and speak with Sir Prunilla. She was at the Eastern Gate that night, and she helped the Inquisitor carry me here. But I will never speak against the man who saved my life. Out of all of them, I feel like that's the most fair. That's fair. That's totally fair. Like, the guy saved his life. Like, you. I do not believe I know you, madam. Pray move along and trouble me no more. Just how she starts with you. Like as though we know each other. We haven't talked to each other yet. I do not believe I know you, madam. No, we don't, but, are you in the habit of handing bloody documents to strangers? Why would you show me such a dreadful thing? I know not of it, not at all. Alright, let's cast doubt on her. And rather than typing it into the chat, I just selected it from my quest menu. For those that are watching in vertical, that comes off screen. I have it on the upper right of my screen, but next to where on my quest list that says Blood for Blood, there is the emote icon. If you click on that icon, it performs that emote. Prunilla, you know, don't you? Fury, take me. I prayed this day would come. When Sir Julot gave chase, I followed close behind. He didn't fall. One of those Dravanian abominations lashed out at him and nearly killed him right then and there. I drew my sword and rushed to his side, straining to see the enemy. But what came from the darkness was not a beast, but a voice. He knew things about me. About my family. Secrets I had never told another. He said that if I kept his confidence, Sir Julio and I would be spared. But if I defied him, everyone I loved would suffer unimaginable horrors before they died. When I last agreed to his terms, the man came forward. His robes marked him as an inquisitor. But I knew him to be false. Together we carried Sir Julio to the infirmary, and on his first night on White Rim Front, Inquisitor Gilliman was heralded as a hero. Soon after came the accusations. Countless men and women of good moral standing seized whilst in possession of draconian rosaries. As I feared, he was condemning the innocent to death. I wanted to confess to Lord Dromont, wanted to put an end to the madness. But then I would remember the Inquisitor's threats. And so I did nothing. Until Lord Francel was accused. Some time ago, I followed the Inquisitor and found that he had kept draconian rosaries in a chest hidden southeast of White Brim Front. So I took several from his chest and planted them in the shipments bound from Skyfire locks. As I hoped, they were discovered and considered evidence of a conspiracy against the House Hielanart, thus exonerating Lord Francel and casting doubt on the other recent trials. And that is the entire truth, I swear. Halone, forgive me for not acting sooner. Hey! We got some progress, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we could get these people to stop freaking hating us now. Alright. Now I need to go out another gate. Come on, Alpha. Alpha no is annoying, but Alpha, this little bird right here, he's wonderful. He's fantastic. I will hear no slander against him. I don't think most in the Final Fantasy XIV community would slander him anyway, so. Oh. What do we have here? Okay. Let's take this Drillbot. Alright, Dromont. Gotta go up all these stairs because we can't make it easy. Since we're in a realm reborn, we gotta climb so many stairs. But at least we can mount. Alright, Dromont. Why do you persist in this folly? I will not grant you 3 access to Stone Vigil. Do not make me repeat myself. Well, I have this that says that he's not who he is. And I also have this that shows that he's planting stuff. There had better be a very good explanation for why you were carrying these rosaries. And where did you find this papal encyclical? Fury, take me. The Inquisitor is a heretic. Never before have I heard such an unbelievable tale, but this evidence and your testimony could have no other explanation. I have misjudged you and your friends, Boba, and for that I deeply apologize. I will remember you to enter the outpost, or I will permit you to enter the outpost. But first, I must needs beg your assistance. Help me and my knights bring this infernal impostor to justice. Okay. So it looks like that is... So, okay, so I do gain mind. Just 1, but you don't get a whole lot with each item in a row reward, but I'm gonna go ahead and take that item because it is an improvement. Since I'm healer, my primary stat is mind. For casters, it's going to be intelligence. For physical range, it's going to be dexterity. For ninja, rogue, and viper, it's also dexterity. Your other melees and your tanks, it's going to be strength. That thrice damned heretic has murdered countless innocents and made a mockery of our laws. Hells take him and his Dravanian allies. I am told he makes for Snowcloak even now, intending to pass judgment on yet another poor soul whom he has branded heretic. If we hurry, there may still be time to prevent further tragedy. Lend me your strength, Boba. Together we put an end to this imposter's heresy once and for all. Okay. I mean, I'm really here for Garuda, but sure. I mean, this part I'm like, okay, I get where Alphinaud's coming from. Like, we kind of extra embroiled in your guys' business. We had to, so that way you would let us get the dang Enterprise. But now we're just extra embroiled in this for some reason or another. Because we just put our nose in everybody's business. So now before they'll let us go in, they're like, oh, well, help us deal with the heretic. Come on, I've already helped a lot, you guys. I helped you find him. And just think, we wouldn't have found him if he would have just let us find... I just want to slap him. Okay, there we go. I just wanted to slap him before starting this. Good to have you with us, miss. When Lord Drillmont arrives, we are to confront the Inquisitor. If he refuses to go quietly, we will need to use force. Are you prepared for that eventuality? I'm gonna guess. Just a guess that it's gonna happen. And, oh, it looks like V-Bridger must have crashed. Because I see my mouth is moving, but my body is not. Let's see. See if I can get V-Bridger back up and going before I go into this. If it crashes again during stream, then I will switch what app I'm using to handle my movement. There we go. But at least it's not a whole stream crash. Okay. Because, yeah, the other day it kept completely crashing stream, but I have something running that tells it that, hey, if for some reason this memory leakage ends up causing a shortage, it's because of V-Bridger. So just shut down V-Bridger and keep everything else going. That's where the priority should be. Because V-Bridger is the one causing the problems. And I thought I'd fix the memory leak, but doesn't seem that I have. So at least I put in that. You needn't tremble so, my child. The righteous shall enjoy everlasting peace in Halone's halls. Only the wicked... But why? Why must I die? By all that is holy, I swear to you, I have never questioned the teachings of Halone. Inquisitor, and release the maid and come with us. My Lord Drillmont, what is the meaning of this interruption? You are aware that I am at present conducting an interrogation. Are you not? Silence, villain. I name thee heretic, murderer of Inquisitor Gilliman, and countless innocents. You are a traitor to Ishgard and your own kith and kin. Your sins are beyond measure, beyond redemption. Ah, grave allegations indeed. But you will find your logics flawed. How can I betray that which I owe no allegiance? No, Lord Drillmont, my conscience is quite clear, I assure you. I wonder, can you say the same? Whose hands are black with the blood of those whose only sin was to question your nation's crusade. Okay, it looks like V-Bridger's just going to keep crashing. So I'm just going to use the VTube Studio app instead of Meowface. Okay. So my mouth movement isn't going to be quite as strong, and oh, now we're just going to shut down VTube Studio. Okay. To keep it from crashing stream, I'm just going to go ahead and leave my face out. So that way I'm not spending stream time investigating exactly what exactly is causing this memory leakage that's shutting things down here. You speak to me of Ishgardian innocence. Ha! All are complicit in these crimes. For all live their lives by the Archbishop's lies. But I know you will not hear me, deafened by the dogma as you are. If you desire retribution, Lord Drillmont, then come. Let us see how Ishgardian steel fares against Javanian fang and claw. Aha. I was like, where are these? And with these cones, I don't necessarily, like in those cases, because of the eye, I didn't necessarily need to step out of it. I could have just turned away, but then I would have lost line of sight with my spells and everything, and I didn't want to turn around, so I stepped out of the cone. That way I could still face the enemy. I was gonna say, there's another person that's over here with a stick. You heal, Drillmont. I am reborn. Oh, he gave me a... Thank you, Drillmont. I noticed that he gave me a stone skin there. Because with takes... he's a gladiator at the moment, or a paladin, whichever one. But they have an ability that's called Stone Skin that allows them to shield themselves or another player. It's not a super strong shield, but it's still awfully nice that he did that for me. No. No, it cannot be. Okay. Now I'm going to try to get VTube Studio back up. Hopefully we've stabilized a little bit so I can have VTube Studio back up and going. If not, we'll let VTube Studio crash again. Okay, we've got a visual. Where is... There we go. Now we have the connection. All right. My glamour's dispelled. I'm gonna have a check running real quick. Okay, I have that running. Your plans lie in ruin, heretic. Choose your words wisely, for they will be your last. Cough. Wheeze. Ha! You may not recall the many guardians I have sentenced, but the families of the dead will never forget. Blood has been repaid with blood, and for that I am content. My only regret is that you yet live. Aha. So it's like he was eventually going to claim that Drillmont was a heretic too? Jeez. But your end is nigh, foreigner. The dragons within the stone vigil will rend you asunder. And when you are dead, Whitebrim Front shall fall. Defiant to the last, leave the body for the crows. His ilk deserves not better. Boba, I must apologize for involving you in this sordid business. You should have never been asked to intervene in the Ashgardian affairs of state. Rest assured, I have not forgotten the matter which first brought you into our midst. It is past time that you reunited with your airship. But this is not the place to discuss such matters. Play visit me at Whitebrim Front and bring your associates. Okay. Let's see. So we should soon be going into the Stone Vigil. It's been a while since Boba's been able to go into a dungeon. So it should be interesting to go into Stone Vigil. Alright, Alphino. Where have you been, Boba? I'm sorry, I could, like, that just reads like Molly Weasley. Where have you been? And now, like, in my brain, I'm going, Ronald Weasley, how dare you steal that car? The false inquisitor has been slain, has he? Yes, well, his was a tale always like to end in bloodshed. Though you have overcome the latest in a long line of unfortunate impediments, I would ask you not to revel in your victory just yet. We could celebrate once we have secured the Enterprise. Alphino. Alphino. Don't fucking tell me when I can and cannot celebrate, man. Don't be rude like that. That's fucking rude. Come on. Come on. Like, if I want to celebrate right now, let me celebrate. Like, I know we're not done, but also, you gotta take your victories when you can. This is a victory. Little twerp. Especially, and it's easy for him to say, oh, don't celebrate yet, when he's just standing there, freezing his ass off because he's still too lazy to walk over to this merchant and buy himself some warmer gear. Alphino is eager to enter the Stone Vigil. I'm sure he is. As I'm sure you will agree, it's past time we entered the Stone Vigil. Pay Lord Drillmont a visit and remind him of his obligation to us. Sid and I will follow anon. Yeah. I mean, you didn't do a whole ton there, Alphino. I mean, Sid didn't really either, but also Sid is only, like, not that long ago, he didn't realize that he was Sid. He thought he was Marcus. So, like, I could forgive Sid. But Alphino just standing there being like, meh, 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 judging me and what I'm freaking doing. Okay. We owe you all a great debt of gratitude. Had it not been for you, the heretic masquerading as Inquisitor Guilherme would still be among us, free to prey upon the innocent. I see now I was a fool to dismiss your claims out of hand, but you must understand, it seemed too much to hope that the Scions of the Seventh Dawn still lived, to say nothing of Master Garland. Never have I been happier to be proven wrong. Well, it is gratifying to know that someone has derived a measure of enjoyment in your error. What? No. Nope, imagining him as a Starian does not make me hate him any less. Like, dude. Just a little fucking asshole. Like, he's probably already kicking himself about all the innocents that are dead, man. You don't have to be a fucking prick about it. Now, if you have no further objections, we would appreciate it if you would permit us to enter the Stone Vigil and retrieve our airship. Yes, yes, of course. It is the least I could do, given all you have done for us. But entering the outpost is the least of your concerns, I fear. You speak of the Dravonians that now hold the ruin. Well, of course. In part, yes. I should explain. Shortly after you first arrived, I had my men scour the old records. They confirmed that an abandoned airship had been seized by the soldiers garrisoned at the Stone Vigil in the days following the calamity. As far as we have been able to ascertain, it was still in their custody when the outpost was overrun by dragons. Whether it was damaged or destroyed during the battle, I cannot say, nor can I give you any assurances that it has not been removed in the intervening years. For far too long, the ruin has served as Dravonian footholds in Kurthus. From now, they have struck out at us with depressing regularity. Though we have pushed them back behind the walls, we have as yet been unable to drive them out, and I cannot say when the situation will change. Or how it will change. Forgive me, Lord Drillmont, but there is no guarantee that you will prevail. In any event, we have not the time to wait. We will secure our property without Ishgardian aid. Easy for him to say we'll do it without Ishgardian aid. I see. Well, that may be for the best. I'll inform Sil Nathalane of your impending visit. May Helone guide you, Sidons. Yeah, just be like, yeah, we'll just do it without you. Like, we don't need your fucking help. Like, you sure, Alphino? Are you sure we don't need their fucking help? Pretty sure we should have their help, but... Because, I mean, the more people you send, the better. But, whatever. Whatever. Just make me do everything, Alphino. Alright. Let's talk to this guy. Hello, Nathalan. Hello, Boba. Lord Droma has appraised me of the situation. You may enter the stone vigil whensoever you will. And I'm really excited that at FanFest they announced, so back during the Dawn Trail FanFest, they were still adding in these MSQ dungeons for duty support. And I do like that, particularly after Realm Reborn, they're a little bit more thematic, because it's like, okay, Alphino sounds like he's going to come in with you for this duty support, but then he freaking doesn't. That's... Way to be all talk there, Alphino. Whatever. Like, I get Sid not coming in. Sid's an engineer. He's not necessarily equipped for battle, but Alphino? The fuck, man? Don't talk like as though you're going to help me. But it's been a while since we've done one of these with duty support, so I'm going to do it with duty support just to illustrate what it looks like. Because honestly, I've never done this one with duty support, so like it's going to be different for me too. If I recall correctly, I've done this one with Squadron. Particularly later on in MSQ, I do recommend doing your first run of dungeons with duty support, if only for story, if you're really into story and stuff. If you just want to get through everything as quickly as you possibly can, by all means queue for that dungeon. Queue for it, because the, particularly if you're a tank or healer, because that queue is going to go so much faster for you, and then you can run through the dungeon pretty dang quickly. But if you're running through something for the first time, particularly as a DPS, you're not really going to save time because that queue is going to take a while. And you go in with duty support. The thing with duty support is, as you can see, he has one dude there. He's got one. That's all he's going to grab. And apparently he's not going to mitigate. So he's not really going to know his rotation, and he's going to struggle a little bit. But the reason I say later on in MSQ I recommend it is because with the duty support bots, they are much more tied to the main story, and they have dialogue. And that dialogue can be so nice. Whoop, 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 whoop. I always forget about that dragon. Don't mind me, I'm just grabbing more things for my tank to tank. Let me get my focus target on him. Okay. What is going on? Okay, unplugging my phone. Yes. It plugged into my computer and it was deciding to unplug, replug constantly there, and that was messing up my gameplay here. I know that my tank is less than half health, I ain't worried about him. He'll be fine. He'll live. He's a big boy. And the mobs were almost dead. And as you can see, he's before we even get to the next dude, he's already back to full health. So playing as a healer, heal anxiety can totally be a massive thing. Just remember that you do not have to have everybody topped off all the time. It's the main thing to remember. Though I do need to have him healed up more than what I do now. I did not anticipate him getting hit by that dragon that I pulled. There we go. Now I can focus a little bit better on the baddies. And by all means, I am not a healer main, so, and I'm definitely not a white mage main. White mage is one of my least, if not my very least favorite healer, to be completely honest. I am trying to learn to like it with Boba here. If I was really concerned about the Scion HP right here, I would probably go ahead and throw a dot on him. I'm gonna go ahead and throw one on him now. That way I don't have to wait to pull this boss. It would be really great if the bot tank would learn mitigation. Oh, hey, he did mitigate, finally. Say that Lancer's totally gonna eat that cone ability for no good reason. There's no reason for Lancer to be in front of the boss. Absolutely no positionals for a melee as far as I'm aware require you to be in front. Typically, they are going to be flank and rear for the positionals. So, why he was in front of the boss, I do not know. But for a regular player, do grant forgiveness because that ability that the boss was doing there, can't really see where exactly that is going. The main reason I knew to dodge it is because I've done this dungeon before. Not everyone knows to dodge that stuff. Not everyone knows the mechanics. Let's go ahead and pop them off just because. Get them off me! Yo. You. Stop dodging me! I pulled a little too much and he was not quick enough to pull them off of me. Sometimes you will have experiences like that when it comes to the bots, especially if you are pulling for them. And it's definitely tempting to pull for them because, as we saw with the first pack, they will only pull one group at a time if you let them. They'll fall behind you. That does not change as you get higher level. They do not pull more than one group. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Use some better medications. He did use one, but it was like right at the tail end. Come join the party. Don't mind me, tank. Just, Now, I do not recommend pulling for your tank like this in a regular dungeon. I'm only doing this because this is duty support. And those bots will not pull unless you pull. So, it's the only reason I am doing that. But do not go into a regular dungeon with a regular person where someone else is the tank and expect that you can pull for them. That tank is going to know what they can handle. Okay? Do not pull for them. You do not know what they can handle. The bots are going to think that they can only handle one group at a time, and they will treat it as they could only handle one group at a time. The thing is I am the healer, so I know that bot can handle more than one at a time, so I am pulling more than one at a time. But the reason, particularly with DPS, going in first time, I prefer going in with bots. One, it allows you to learn the mechanics as well. Because a lot of times, particularly in new expansions, they like to introduce new mechanics for players. So, getting an idea of what mechanics are going to be coming, running with the bots could be so nice and helpful with that. Oh, next is a boss, and he's not going to pull into the boss room. But then also, like, you're going to spend about the same amount of time as a DPS between Q and actually running the dungeon, as opposed to just using duty support and running the dungeon. And then on top of that, you can get the dialogue. However, in A Realm Reborn, you just have some no-name Scion members. So, not really getting dialogue with them. Like you get some, like, the Lancer earlier said, watch your step, and the Marauder said, 7 hells, I pray we don't face another one of those beasts. Like, they say some things, but they're not, like, very specific to the story or anything like that. They're not having interactions with each other for the most part. Like, they're having very generic dialogue. So, like, A Realm Reborn, not a huge thing. That's the wyvern that's been spouting fire all over the place, is what the Lancer said. Okay, he properly mitigated that. So the bot tank will mitigate, he just doesn't use mitigation a whole ton by the looks of things. He just uses it some. And he does at least use it for those tank busters. And, oh, okay, it was because of those tornadoes. I didn't see them back there. I was like, I see the bots are all moving to this side, so I'm just going to move to this side too. I didn't see them back there. They were dodging the tornadoes. Now I'm probably overhealing, but it's okay. Okay, now they're not going to one side or other because all 4 of those tornadoes came up in a line, so we weren't sure where the safe spot was going to be. And now they're just toggling based upon where an opening is at. Strategy-wise, the Lancer and the Marauder did do the smart thing. The bots don't always do the smart thing. Okay, there's another tank buster. He mitigated. Typically, as a Sage, I would go ahead and throw a small shield up for those tank busters. But as a White Mage, pure healer, not worrying about it. But anyway, for dodging these, the Marauder and Lancer are trying to stay as close to the middle of the room as they can because they want to stay in melee range, so that way they can still continue to hit the boss. The Thaumaturge, they're trying to move as little as possible just because they have more cast times. Like, their cast timer is just much longer. Okay, we got another mitigation, that Vengeance there. But Thaumaturge, like me, could go out further away from the room. But particularly at low levels, not a lot of people are really super practiced with slide casting. So long as you're over halfway on the bar, you can move and not interrupt. It definitely takes practice for getting that slide casting down. Another good reason to go in with bots first run is because all the loot is yours. You don't have to share the loot with other people, so. Going around the corner. I'm gonna try to line of sight these ice sprites. Let me get a little bit closer. There we go. A little bit better on the HP. Another reason I like going ahead and running with bots sometimes is sometimes things can happen IRL, and the bots are going to be more forgiving of that. Not that other players aren't always forgiving of that. Like, typically, they could be very, very, very forgiving and very courteous and nice about it, but I feel less guilty about it when things come up. I'm not going to worry about that treasure coffer. I just want to get to the end of this dungeon. What you doing there, Lancer? Shit. Okay. Oh, he went into berserk. He didn't, I may have gone a little wild on this pull, but part of the reason why I went so low on MP was because I cast rays on that Lancer, that takes a lot of MP to cast rays on somebody. He must have just gotten caught in a conal AoE or something and died. Which happens. These things happen. And it's fine. Oh, there's Alphino. Now he can show up. He can show up for the cutscene. Look, it's the Enterprise. And a point in favor of doing the first run with bots is that you don't feel guilty about watching the cutscenes when they are like this and have a lot of dialogue. Now, other players will still tell you watch the cutscenes, but sometimes in their rush of different things, like particularly like right now, some of the instances are tied to the relic grind. They have a tendency to just kind of want to rush through things because they're trying to get their relics and stuff, and forget that there are new players sometimes. And this can help with that guilt a bit. Yes, just beyond that enormous sleeping dragon. Yes, thank you for taking note of that, Sid. The dragon is not our concern. We've come for the airship, and only the airship. One-track mind there, Alphino. Sid, you and I will sneak aboard the Enterprise and prepare it for launch. Boba, you stay here and keep an eye on the beast. Well, fuck you too, Alphino. If it wakes, we may need you to provide a distraction while we are ready to depart. You can manage that, can't you? That feels kind of racist there, Alphino. You're treating me like I'm a fucking potato. You're treating me like a potato, man. It's fucking rude. It's fucking rude. I don't want to be a roasted potato. That settles it, then. Shall we, Sid? Fucking rude, Alphino. It's fucking rude. As you command. Even Sid's just like, what the fuck? Yes, I love that I had a grumpy face there. Because, yeah, that was fucking rude. That was so fucking rude. I'm not just a potato for roasting over here. So we have La Habrea here. So you mean to slay Garuda next. Interesting. Most interesting. Fucking La Habrea. Yeah, you row away. You row away. And you are aware that her strength greatly exceeds that of your previous primal conquest, a testament to the fanatical devotions of her followers. The Ixal are nothing if not zealous. And the Amalja are not? Like, you're trying to tell me that the Amalja are like super, super tame. Sure, whatever. In spite of your past achievements, I labor to believe that you will best this foe. Yet only a fool would underestimate the great bringer of light, slayer of Ifrit, bane of Titan. If any mortal is capable of defeating the Lady of the Vortex, it is you. Win or lose, the battle should at least make for an entertaining spectacle. Assuming, of course, that you live that long. Alphino, the dragon! Confound it all. Let us see how well your blasphemous gifts serve you this time, Crystal Bearer. Yeah, run away. I like that he's like, sure, you could slay gods and stuff, but surely you can't handle a dragon. Like, what? 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 And the Lancer's like, what is this chill in the air? Lancer, that's because you died on last mob pull. That's the chill that's in the air. The other thing I like about running with bots is that some of them do, with how they're programmed, they do practice some of the better strategies for players of specific classes. For instance, like with the Marauder there, they went ahead and they took the boss, and they are making the boss face away from the rest of the party. They're making them face due north. That is one of the better practices. And then with the Lancer here, they are holding tight as a melee. They are holding tight between this back corner here with the opening of the boss's hitbox here. So like they step just to the left to get into the flank, and then they step just to the right to get to the rear very quickly and easily. So they help demonstrate that, so that way you can kind of see how some of the other roles and classes should at least generally look to a certain degree. Now, there are definitely things that they don't do right. Like even later on, the bots don't do AoE abilities. For some forsaken reason, they're just like, I don't know what an AoE rotation is when it comes to mob pulls and all that. Like there are certain things that they don't do, but there are just certain things that they're like, okay, like, as I said, that Dragoon was doing very good melee practice by hanging tight to one of those corners of the boss's hitbox. Oh, sorry, Lancer. I have a little bit of HP. Alright. Boss, you're really gonna sweep the same line again? Okay. Makes life easy. Now the thing is that the casters, for the most part, they don't do so much slide casting or anything like that. Like, they don't do, like, advanced techniques or anything like that, but it could still help you get an idea of what some general strategies are for those are playing those other roles and classes. The thing that sucks is that, like, this boss would have been down by now if we were in a regular party. And I would be like, surely to God, the Lancer would not keep stepping in the AoE that I'm standing in. But they're a bot. They're programmed to go to a specific area. So apparently I keep picking the spot that they just keep going to. They're also, for some reason, I don't know why they held on to that limit break the way that they did, aside from the fact that they just didn't have enough time to be able to properly utilize it. But typically in a dungeon like that, with your LB2s, when you have a single target like that, typically it is going to fall to your melee DPS. Doesn't matter their item level or anything like that. It's not affected by item level. It is impacted by their particular role. With your melee DPS, they are a single target. which is why typically when you have a single target boss like that, your melee DPS would be the one doing your limit break. For your casters and your physical range, they have an AoE. Your casters are going to be a circular AoE. It's going to be a huge circle, probably about the size of the inner circle here of this particular arena, or I guess that's not a circle, but it would make a circle about the size of this inner shape here. For your caster. For your physical range, it's going to be a linear, not quite as wide as this path here. Probably like if you take one of these square bricks out, about that wide, and be a linear AoE for your physical range. Your healers, never use a limit break 2 because it's just a more powerful heal. Your tanks pretty much never use a limit break 2 because it's just a more powerful shield. But the only time that a tank or a healer is going to use your limit break is if it is a limit break 3 and it is absolutely necessary. Tanks, only for certain fights is it absolutely necessary. For healers, typically if you have a whole bunch of people die in your party, the healer will use limit break 3 in like a trial to resurrect all of those dead people. But otherwise, it's probably going to go to your DPS to use those limit breaks. And typically, as I said, single target, it's going to go to your melee. Doesn't matter their item level does not impact the limit break damage. In all actuality, it actually, in most of the time, particularly teams that are strategizing in like a static or anything like that, typically it's going to go to your lower damage dealing DPS. It is not impacted by the damage that is given by other buffs or anything like that. So like if you have a damage down, for instance, like you died recently and you have damage down, guess what, buddy? If you're melee, you're doing that limit break. Boba, are you alright? Speak to me! I'm standing, Alpha. No, I'm not dead. God damn it. Damn it, Alpha. No. 12 be praised. I feared the beast had injured you. You didn't seem that worried about me when you told me to go play distraction. Twerp. I see now why the others rated you so highly. When you were caught in the midst of the etheric bubble with the dragon, I was all but certain my next mission would be to find a new champion. Thank the gods for sparing me that inconvenience. Way to make this about you, Alphino. Way to make it about you. Take my victory and be like, yeah, I was spared an inconvenience of finding a new champion. Hooray for me. This is why Realm Reborn Alphino is fucking annoying. I have quite enough to do already, which reminds me, Sid is working on the Enterprise as we speak. Let us go and see what he has to say. Like, he's over there being a fucking narcissist. It's like, god damn it, Alphino. What say you, Sid? Will she fly? Yes, though it won't be a pleasant ride. Well, I dare say it will be no more unpleasant than staying here. Alphino, you are not that far from a fucking merchant. I don't understand why you didn't buy yourself some warmer fucking clothes. It's not like you broke, man. Well, I dare say, 'tis a pity that the Enterprise will not be in a better state, but if she will allow us to quit this place, I shall not complain. You just did complain, in a sense, man. If all are in agreement, let us return to Gardania. Though I would like nothing more than to set course for the Howling Eye, it is plain that the Enterprise is in no condition to weather the storm. She must needs be repaired if we are to proceed with our mission. Yeah, it's like, I don't understand. Like, we're already in a cold area, and we're going to go up in the air and have wind blowing. Does he think it's going to be fucking warmer up there? while we're getting out of here. Like, I don't understand what the fuck Alphino was thinking. Damn it, Alphino. This is all so familiar. I know this airship. If I could just... Bah. It's no use. Let's go. Poor Sid. You'll get your memories back, buddy. I'm sure of it. I believe in you, man. Especially if you could suddenly remember how to fly an airship. You know? Alright. If you leave this area during this part of the cutscene, I can't remember which NPC you have to talk to get back out here, but you do have to talk to an NPC to get back out here. They did make it so you can. So don't lose hope if you accidentally leave this area. But I highly recommend go ahead and finishing up from this dock before leaving this little area here. So that way you don't end up in a predicament of, oh hey, I can't get the Alphino here to finish this quest. How I have longed for a more agreeable climate of the Twelves Wood. Yeah, I will not deny the Holy See had its charms. Endless detours aside, our Ishgardian Jean proved quite an adventure. You know what? I will give Alphino that one. We did have a lot of detours. I will give him that. Alas, our work is far from done. We still have an airship to repair and a primal to slave. No rest for the heroic, eh? Well, no, there's not. Okay, so mount speed in Kurthus has increased. That mount speed does not apply to mounts that already have maximum mount speed. So that would be your motorcycles, like your Garland GLIS that I have been using. That does not apply to the SDS Finrare. I can't remember which other motorbike you could get from the Mog Station, but I did not buy that one. I know their most recent motorbike that they put in the Mog Station also comes with the highest mount speed. Ground mount speed, that is. All flying mounts have the same speed, but ground mounts have different speeds. And all of your motorbikes like that start off with the highest ground speed. So it moves faster than, say, the Fat Chocobo that I've got. So, and the Fat Chocobo comes from the A Realm Reborn Collector's Edition. You can, in the Mog Station, get the Collector's Edition rewards. Okay. So, Sid appears to be deep in thought here, so let's talk to him so that way we can quit the landing area here. Alright, Sid. Figure out what we need to get. It calms me to look at her. It's as though I've been reunited with a part of me I never knew was missing. Well, I would imagine so, because you called her a her. Like, you assigned a gender to your airship. So, that tells me that you have a very deep bond with it. And, like, you don't even remember your past. So, yeah. That adds up. Hardly surprising. You did design and build her. I bear good news. The Seedseer has granted our request to house the Enterprise. We may take as long as we are required to repair her. I don't think the Seedseers would deny that request, considering we want to take care of Garuda, and we need it to take care of Garuda. So, like, why would they deny? Like, we're helping them. So, yeah, I don't understand why they would ever deny that. But whatever. Of course, it would be rank folly to take one moment more than we require. Garuda, lest we forget, grows stronger by the hour. If we are to have any hope of wresting this benighted realm from her talents, it must needs be soon. Though I am no expert in the workings of airships, it seems plain to me that the Enterprise suffered much from her time in the wilderness. Am I not correct, Sid? You are. Frankly, it is a miracle she carried us this far. As you know, the Howling Eye is encircled by a raging tempest, apt to turn proud trees into matchwood. Our battle will end before it begins if the Enterprise cannot weather the storm. Well, yeah, she was the primal of wind. That makes sense. Given time, I believe I can fully repair her. But if the tempest is as fearsome as you say, even that may not be enough. Confound it, there must be a way to brave the fury of the elements. The elements? But of course, that's it! We work upon the element itself. Using the power of the corrupted crystal, we could clear the path through the storm and spare the Enterprise the battering. So, he suddenly remembers that information. Okay. I see. You propose to utilize the properties of a crystal to alter the elemental aspect of the barrier. It seems so childishly simple in retrospect. And in moments like these, I feel like Alphino's pompous ass makes sense towards a fresh, new, A Realm Reborn adventurer that doesn't know what they're talking about. You know, it's just like, oh, what is this? Though mayhap not to you, Boba. Well, fuck you, Alphino. God damn it, Alphino. I was over here trying to give you credit. We speak of the manifestations of over-aspected aether that can be found throughout Eorzea. Yeah, I know VTube Studio can't capture it, but I would be flipping him the bird right now. Since the calamity disrupted the land's etheric currents, such crystals have become comparatively commonplace, which has been a cause of great woe, as they are known to warp etheric energies, including those of living organisms. The point is, thank you, Sid. The point is, we could theoretically use a corrupted crystal to convert the wind-aspected aether comprising Garuda's barrier into aether of another aspect, one she cannot control. Thank you, Sid. With certain modifications, the Enterprise would be able to deliver us to the Howling Eye in comfort, however hard Garuda blows. But we are getting ahead of ourselves. All of this rests upon our ability to procure a crystal with the necessary properties. Have you any idea where we might acquire one? No, but I know a man who might. A scholar by the name of Labyrinth, who resides in Camp Drybone. Strange as it may sound, I met him upon my time at the church. Well, Marcus met him, I suppose. Whether out of pity or out of want of a more willing listener, he would talk to me for hours at a time about his etheric studies, corrupted crystals being his pet subject. Ah, that makes much more sense as to why he knows all this information about etheric crystals. It was as a result of these conversations that poor Marcus was observed to possess an uncommon knack for theoretical science. Boba, I need you to return to Thanalan and seek out this scholar. Sid and I would set about repairing the Enterprise in your absence. Yes, Alphino, I am sure that you are much better equipped for repairing this fucking airship. Sure. Sure you are, bud. Okay. So I'm going to go out here and I'm just going to set out an airship landing here. With that, I am going to go ahead and conclude stream. If you are not a part of the, let me switch gear sets here so that way my glamour applies. If you did not know, with your gear sets, you can change glamour links, and you can link them to glamour plates. That way, when you apply glamours, anytime that you are in a sanctuary, such as a main city, anytime that you see the little moon next to your experience bar, means you are in a sanctuary, which is anywhere with an aetherite. as I said, such as a main city. And it's just anytime that you apply that gear set, it's going to apply that glamour. But anyhow, if you have not joined the Discord server, I highly recommend doing so. If you type in !Discord, which should properly work for YouTube today. I didn't see anything say anything for Kick, so I do apologize if anybody in Kick, of course, Stream Elements now claims some things might not work properly or whatever. Because for some reason, Stream Elements will not stay connected to my YouTube account for more than a couple minutes for some reason. Like, I literally renewed that right before stream, and it's like, hey, guess what? Not connected. Stream Elements should be a part of my, my Kick chat is definitely a part of the Twitch chat, because it is the one that has been letting us know, hey, we're going to be taking a real quick ad break every 30 minutes or so. If you type !Discord, Stream Elements should give you a link to the Discord server. If it does not, I will put one in the chat for you, so that way you can join. In that server, there are all kinds of resources. It includes alerts for any time that I am going to go live, anytime that I post a video to YouTube or TikTok, which includes announcements for days that I'm going to go live. But I do cross-post those to Instagram. And I also post to X and Blue Sky, so if you follow me on one of those, you will be notified as to, you will have a few hour advance notice as to when I plan on going live. But there are also a ton of resources and all that jazz. There are also quite a few other players that are in the server that are a wealth of information. I do not know absolutely everything about this game by any means whatsoever. Though I am very knowledgeable, I am not Alphino. I'm not an obnoxious prick who just thinks I know everything. And I will admittedly say, I do not know everything. I am not the perfect player. I make mistakes. I get things wrong. Constantly. It happens. But there are a wealth of players in that server that are also more than happy to help with their wealth of information. They can fill in gaps that I cannot fill. For instance, like with the current relic weapon, I've made zero progress toward, or I shouldn't say zero progress. I unlocked Occult Crescent, but as far as actually doing much of anything for unlocking the Dawn Trail relics, yeah, I haven't done much of shit. So I know next to nothing as far as the Dawn Trail relics go. But there are several people in the server who are actively working on their Dawn Trail relics that know a lot more than what I do as far as the steps necessary, what it takes, and all of that jazz. So I am not the only source of information. There are all kinds of people who have quite a bit of information, and they are absolutely wonderful and amazing people. And everybody that is here today, you are all also wonderful and amazing people. So feel free to join this wonderful and amazing community. And with that, thank you, Euler, for throwing that Discord command within the Twitch chat for me there. With that, I want to say to you all, have a wonderful, happy Sunday. Thank you all again for hanging out with me today. And I will see you all next time. Next stream should be on Wednesday, so long as nothing goes wrong. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, and I hope to see you then. Take care, everybody.